presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. With the help of Max Heller, a foreign agent, the Yellow Mask international criminal escaped from the state prison. Seeking revenge from Clark Kent because Kent and the Daily Planet were responsible for putting him behind bars, the Mask opened a gas main valve in the basement of the newspaper building and almost succeeded in blowing up the 30-story skyscraper. But Kent, as Superman, stopped the flow of deadly gas before the damage was too great. Meanwhile, the Mask is hiding out in the penthouse apartment of the espionage ring led by Heller. There, the foreign agent tells him what is wanted of him. An American has perfected an amazing mechanical man, a huge, giant-like creature of steel and wires, radio controls, and capable of everything but thought. Heller wants this metal monster no matter what the cost, to spread fear and panic and destruction. The Mask, posing as a government representative, is to get it for him. Unmindful that the police of 5 states are looking for him, with orders to bring him in dead or alive, the Mask, armed with forged credentials, has gained access to the huge barn-like laboratory of Wallace Thornton, inventor of the mechanical man. At one end of the high-ceilinged room, the metal monster stands upright, the steel plates of its mammoth body gleaming of the strong lights, its arms dangling like those of a giant gorilla. Its head is a square steel box with glowing red lamps for eyes. Suddenly, as Thornton twists a dial on the control board, the steel body shudders, and the mechanical man walks forward slowly.
It's amazing, Mr. Thornton, simply amazing.
I'm sorry, I can't fully demonstrate its abilities. The War Department has asked me not to remove it from this room.
I understand it's capable of radio-controlled flight.
Yes, the steel plates along the sides of the body open to form wings. A collapsed propeller is hidden in the top of its head. That's its one drawback, its vulnerability.
Oh, what do you mean?
If, for any reason, the propeller is damaged while the robot is in flight, it will crash to Earth, out of control.
I'd be inclined to regard that as a very minor drawback, Mr. Thornton. Planes are no different.
Quite true.
Now, as I mentioned before, the government has reconsidered its original stand in the matter of taking over your mechanical man. Price, of course, is not a factor.
It was never a matter of price. I want no money. If the mechanical man can in any way aid our war effort, I shall feel amply repaid.
I can take the blueprints with me now. Arrangements can be made to pick up the working model this afternoon.
I shall have to communicate with Major Nichols of the War Department before releasing anything to you.
Oh, that isn't at all necessary, Mr. Thornton. I represent the government. You've seen my credentials.
Yes, but I should like Major Nichols' assurance that...
That what?
Well, that everything is official. I can't afford to take that chance.
Oh, you would be taking any chances. Certainly my credentials should be sufficient proof. Now, come, Mr. Thornton, don't be overcautious. The War Department is anxious to begin work on duplicates of your model. I must bring the blueprints back with me.
Would there be any harm if I called Major Nichols?
There isn't time. I'm due in Washington at 3 o'clock. I must leave immediately. May I have the blueprints?
I should like to try and contact Major Nichols first. I'm sorry to have to do this, but we're at war and extreme caution is essential. I'll call him from this phone. It won't take but a moment. Excuse me. Long distance, please. Calling Washington, D.C.
Put that phone down, Mr. Thornton. Hang up.
Why, never mind the call, operator.
That's better. Now back away from the desk.
Why are you pointing a gun at me?
Oh, don't ask foolish questions, and you get no foolish answers. Where are the blueprints?
You hardly expect me to tell you, now that you've revealed your true colors.
Not only do I expect you to tell me, but I want the information fast. Your suspicions were justified. The government isn't interested in your mechanical man, but my people are.
Who are your people?
Never mind. Open that safe.
I'm not accustomed to taking orders at the point of a gun. I don't react very well to them.
Now listen, Thornton. I'm a desperate man. I escaped from prison less than 24 hours ago. The police are looking for me now. They'll have to kill me to get me. You understand?
Perfectly.
Then open the safe.
No.
I'm warning you, Thornton. I've killed in cold blood before, and I can do it again. Maybe it might help if I told you who I am. They call me the Yellow Mask.
The yellow is in the wrong place. Actually, it's running up and down your back.
Why, you folk... No. No, I need you for the time being, but I'll remember that. Now put your hands behind your back. Turn around. This piece of wire will make a nice bracelet for your wrists. There. Not too tight, I hope.
You're wasting your time.
I'll worry about that. Just keep your mouth shut. It's been a long time since I opened the safe, but this one doesn't look too tough.
The blueprints aren't in the safe.
We'll see. Now, don't try anything, Thornton. I'll let you have it. For keeps. Now, let's listen to these tumblers. Not too bad. Watch me, Thornton. Maybe you can learn something.
You think I'd be fool enough to leave those blueprints in that antiquated safe?
Shut up. There. That's number one. Not that, eh? I haven't lost the magic touch.
There's nothing in the safe but some old insurance policies.
Fine, I like old insurance policies. And keep quiet. Number two. One more should open it. You're getting nervous, Thornton?
Nervous? Why should I be nervous?
I'll show you why in a moment. Just watch. Unless I miss my guess, that opens it. Now, let's see. It does. What were you saying about insurance policies, Thornton? This looks like a roll of blueprints. They seem to be marked, too. Plans and design for radio control robot. Just what I was looking for. Coincidence, isn't it?
All right. You win. Now, will you untie my wrist, please? The wire is cutting into my skin.
I think not. You're better off that way.
But you have the plans. What more do you want? Certainly, I can do you no harm. Not while your finger is on the trigger of that gun.
You seem to forget I have to make a safe getaway, or else these blueprints have no value. That telephone is much too handy. In fact, I'll truss you up properly before I leave. Another piece of wire for your ankles and a gag for your mouth. Where are you going? Keep away from the control board, Thornton.
It's too late now. The mechanical man can't be stopped.
No! No! Stop him!
Not a chance. He'll walk right through that wall.
Stop him! Stop that monster! Stop him! You asked for this!
Oh, which eye was concerned? There must be one of these. No, that doesn't do it. Neither does this. Maybe these switches. No. No, he's still coming. I better get out of here before it's too late. There's no stopping him.
Crashing through the wooden side of the building, the mechanical man, driven by the radio impulse from the control panel, marches on like a giant specter, its blood-red eyes flashing, its long, jointed arms swinging at its sides. Crossing the yard, it flattens an iron fence as though it were cardboard and heads for the highway. A passing motorist, seeing the steel monster bearing down on him, turns white and jams the gas pedal to the floor. Across the road, a woman sweeping her front porch looks up, screams, and drops in a dead faint. And still the huge, towering creature from another world plods on, senseless, brainless, but alive, mowing down everything in its path, sending terrified children flying into their homes, draining the color from men's faces. Like wildfire, the news travels, telephones jangle, hoarse voices repeat the warning over and over again.
Mechanical man!
And in the office of Perry White, editor of the Daily Planet, Clark Kent and Lois Lane stand by as their volcanic chief barks into a telephone.
Oh, for the love of heaven, Leeds, talk sense. What do you mean, mechanical man? Yes, I know. He's 10 feet tall with red eyes and... What? Do I think you're crazy? I'm sure of it. Now listen to me. This isn't April Fool's Day. And even if it was, I don't like that kind of humor. If you can't turn in legitimate stories, get yourself a job digging ditches. And another thing. Now, hold on a minute. Oh, Kent, what did that boy bring in?
Teletype flash. Listen. Giant mechanical man terrifying residents of Linwood, metropolis suburb.
What?
Then it's true.
Is that all it says?
Yes, it's just a flash.
Oh, Leeds, we just got a teletype flash here. Maybe you're right. What about? Why, the mechanical man, you idiot. Now, listen to me. Where was it last seen? Where? On the turnpike heading for the orphanage farm. All right. I'm sending Kent out there. Watch for him. That's all. Get out there as fast as you can, Kent.
Yeah.
Linwood Turnpike, somewhere near the orphanage farm.
Okay.
I'm going with you.
Oh, no, Lois.
I said I'm going with you.
But it may be dangerous. From what Leeds said, it is dangerous.
I don't care, Kent. I'm going along.
Oh, stop arguing. Stop arguing. Let her go, Kent. Chances are it's just a lot of nonsense. Mechanical man. Oh, it's insane. It's mad. Things like that don't happen.
All right, Lois, come on.
Oh, Kent. In case there is something to it, anything at all, call me.
Okay, let's go.
Sweeping aside all obstacles in its path, the steel monster is nearing an orphanage farm, home of 1,000 children. Can Kent, even as Superman, stop the mechanical creature? Don't miss the next episode of this unusual story. Tune in and listen with Superman. And now to our story. As you remember, the Yellow Mask, posing as a government representative, made use of forged credentials to gain access to the laboratory of Wallace Thornton, designer of a radio-controlled mechanical man. Holding Thornton at gunpoint, the Mask broke into a safe and removed the blueprint, showing how the mechanical man was constructed. But Thornton, in a last desperate attempt to prevent the theft, turned a dial on the control panel and set the giant steel robot in motion. Unable to stop it after slugging Thornton with the butt of his gun, the Mask fled. Meanwhile, the mechanical man, driven by radio impulses, walked through a wall of the building and kept going, leveling everything in its path and terrifying every man, woman, and child. When last seen, the huge metal monster was headed for an orphanage farm in the suburb of Metropolis. Traveling in the same direction are Clark Kent and Lois Lane, star reporters for the Daily Planet, assigned to get a story on the mechanical man.
You think there's anything to this mechanical man business, Clark? Anything more than a joke or an optical illusion?
That's hard to say, Lois. Leeds is generally pretty reliable. He said he'd seen it.
I get cold shivers thinking about it. Just imagine an army of mechanical men, solid lines of steel, 1 million human tanks that nothing could stop. Whew, gasping.
Yeah. Wonder whether we're on the right road. I haven't seen any signposts for miles.
Why don't you stop at that gas station up ahead? There must be somebody there who can tell us.
That's a good idea.
Well, guess I was wrong. Nobody here.
Yes, there is. Man's coming out of the house.
Yeah. What's he carrying that shotgun for?
No.
Look, there's a revolver strapped around his waist.
So loud. I beg your pardon, but is this the road to Linwood?
Yeah, it's the road to Linwood, all right, but you'd better not take it.
Why, is it torn up? Construction?
No, there's a monster loose up that way.
A monster?
That's right, lady. Come by here 20 minutes ago. That's why I'm toting all these firearms, just in case he decides to come back.
Did you see him?
No, my boy did, though. He's a giant. He's wearing some kind of shiny armor. My boy said he was twice the size of an ordinary man. Yeah, I know it's hard to take, lady, but it's true. They're talking about it now on the radio. Special bulletins and warnings.
Well, thanks a lot.
You ain't going to Linwood, are you?
I'm afraid we have to. So long.
You're crazy if you do.
Forcing the car to the limit of its speed, Kent races toward Linwood, convinced now that the mechanical man is more than just a myth. Meanwhile, 2 highway patrolmen, armed with rifles, are parked on the side road behind a screen of huge bushes, waiting for the great steel monster to come within range. Off in the distance, they can see its box-like head, its ruby eyes blinking like ghostly danger signals. They crouch low behind their patrol car.
Get set, Joe. Here it comes.
Oh, okay.
Aim for its head, for them blinking eyes. We gotta stop it. Keep low.
Well, how about it?
No, not yet. Gotta get close. We can't take no chances of missing. When you start shooting, don't stop. Empty the magazine. All right, now. I'll count 3. 1, 2, 3, shoot! It ain't stopping. My gun's empty. Run, Joe! Run!
With the steel-jacketed bullets flattened against it like so much putty, the mechanical man plods on unharmed, save for the shattering of one of the red bulbs in its head. Now, more horrible than ever, with only a single blood-red eye blinking like that of a monster cyclops, the huge man-made creature starts up the hill in the direction of the orphanage, only a mile away. There, in the administrative office, the superintendent, drawn and anxious, stands at the window, while the matron, nervous and pale, paces the floor.
You'll wear that rug out, Miss Perkins.
This is hardly the time for levity, Mr. Danforth. I'm beside myself. I don't know which way to turn.
Why not try relaxing?
You asked me to relax with a bloodthirsty monster about to descend on us.
But that's a slight exaggeration. So far, there have been no reports about this so-called monster's bloodthirstiness.
But you do admit there is a monster.
I admit to nothing yet.
Oh, why haven't the police arrived?
Well, they'll be here.
Yes, after we're torn limb from limb. But it's too late. Mr. Danforth, I don't like to have to say this, but I feel you're taking your responsibility too lightly. The lives of 1,000 children are in your hands.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Miss Perkins.
Sarcasm doesn't alter the situation. What are you going to do?
Just what I've been doing. Wait. If you prefer to leave the grounds, you're privileged to do so. But don't come back.
I must say you're acting in a very high-handed manner. I would never have suspected it of you.
Your suspicions don't interest me at the moment. Oh, what time is it?
10 minutes to 1.
We've delayed the lunch hour long enough. I'm not going to starve those children because of some mythical monster. Will you please ring the lunch bell, Miss Perkins?
Are you mad?
Please ring the lunch bell.
Do you know what you're doing? Bringing 1,000 children together in one building so that monster can get to them all at once. It's murder. That's what it is. Mass murder.
All right, Miss Perkins, I'll ring the lunch bell.
See anything, Lois?
Nope. Not a sign of man or monster. Clark, what do you think those shots were that we heard a while back?
No, it's hard to tell. Maybe deer hunters or someone sniping at the mechanical man. You should be getting to the orphanage farm any minute now. Keep your eyes open.
I am, but I don't know what to look for. Unfortunately, I don't number any mechanical men among my acquaintances.
Still don't believe it exists, do you? Even after that story the gas station man told us.
I can't make myself believe it. That's the trouble. It's too fantastic. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like a nightmare full of strange shapes. Just as Mr. White said, things don't happen that way.
Yeah, that's probably what your grandfather would have said, too, if he'd seen an airplane 50 years ago.
I suppose you're right. Look, Clark, isn't that the entrance to the orphanage just up ahead there?
Yeah, looks like it. Well, either we beat the mechanical man or he's already been here.
Or he's non-existent. Like those men from Mars that caused a panic a few years ago, remember?
Uh-huh. I have a funny feeling this is slightly different.
Maybe you're right. That brick building looks like the office.
Yes, I'll pull up.
Like we're being welcomed by a committee of one.
Yeah.
Or is that hawk-nosed female running toward us a monster?
Oh, are you the police? Are you the police?
No, madam. We're newspaper reporters.
Oh.
Are you by any chance the orphanage superintendent?
No, I'm the matron.
Oh.
Mr. Danforth is in his office. I'll take you to him. This way, please.
Thank you. Come on, Lois.
Some newspaper reporters to see you, Mr. Danforth.
I can't see any reporters now.
We're not here in a reportorial capacity, Mr. Danforth. This is Miss Lane, and my name is Kent.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do?
I'm sorry, but we're all under a strain at the moment.
That's putting it mildly.
Miss Perkins, our matron, is under a particular strain.
Yes, it's quite evident.
Well, I'd like to know what normal individual wouldn't be with a monster about to descend on you.
I take it the mechanical man has not yet arrived.
No, have you heard anything about it?
Nothing except that one of our local reporters phoned to tell us it was moving in the direction of the orphanage.
Has anyone seen this Frankenstein, Mr. Kent?
From what we can learn, a number of people have had that rare privilege.
Seems that nobody waits long enough to get a close-up view. That's what makes the reports vary. Some say it's a giant in a coat of mail, others that it's a metal monster breathing fire and brimstone. Personally, I think it's all imagination.
That's very interesting, but hardly authentic. Your thoughts on the matter.
Miss Perkins, perhaps you'd better go to the dining room while the children are having lunch.
I prefer staying here, if you don't mind, Mr. Danforth.
Then keep quiet.
Why, the very idea. Never in all my life.
I said keep quiet, or leave.
All right. I will leave. I'll go to my children. I'll die with them if necessary. Farewell.
Terribly sorry, Mr. Danforth. I assume we were responsible for that emotional outburst.
No, not at all, Miss Lane. Miss Perkins has gone to pieces. Why on earth she should be afraid of any monster, that was beyond me. Maybe it's no joking matter. Perhaps it's more serious than we're willing to admit. You say there have been some eyewitness reports, Mr. Kent?
Not a few, but no two agree. Boiled down, the creature seems to be a metal robot, a mechanical man. How he happens to have motion and who's controlling that motion is a mystery.
Well, if he's coming, you'd better hurry. I'm getting a little annoyed.
I'll try the police again. I called them 20 minutes ago, and they promised to send some men over. Operator, let me have the police station at Linwood, please. This is Mr. Danforth at the orphanage farm. I beg your pardon? Oh, I see. Thank you.
The line must be busy. Everyone clamoring for police protection.
No, the operator says there's no one at the station. The entire force is out.
Probably monster hunting like we are. It may become the new national game, you know. You could call...
What is it, Lois?
Look, coming over the crest of that hill. The monster.
Great Scott!
Can't believe my eyes. Are we seeing things?
No, it's a mechanical man. They were right.
He's heading right for that dining room. There are 1,000 children in there.
Clark, where are you going?
Head him off.
Well, don't be a fool. You can't do it alone.
I think I can't let go of my arm, Lois. There isn't much time.
You'll be taking an awful chance, Mr. Kent.
Lois, please.
I'm not going to let you go.
Sorry, but I can't stand here discussing it.
Clark, come back. Clark.
Ignoring Lois's frenzied cry, Clark Kent goes out to meet the huge steel monster as it lumbers forward like some giant prehistoric beast. Is he a match for the brainless creature, even as Superman? And will he be forced at last to reveal his double identity to Lois? To let her see that Clark Kent and Superman are one and the same person. 1,000 children are in danger. Something must be done, and done quickly. What will Kent do? Don't fail to hear the next startling episode. Tune in and listen with the Superman. And now to our story. Driven on by the radio impulse from a control panel in Wallace Thornton's laboratory, the mechanical man, a 10-foot steel giant, has, within the short space of an hour, struck terror into the hearts of all who encountered him. Lumbering like some prehistoric beast along highways, over plowed fields, and through wire fences, never deviating from his controlled course, the steel monster has reached an orphanage outside the suburb of Linwood. There, Clark Kent, over the strenuous objections of Lois Lane, stands guard before the orphanage dining room where 1,000 children are at lunch. The huge man-made creature plods up the hill, its massive jointed arms swinging, and one blood-red eye blinking in its square steel head. Kent is faced with a problem. To battle the mechanical man, he must drop the disguise of the meek newspaper reporter and appear as Superman. But Lois Lane is watching him from the office of the orphanage superintendent. Will he reveal his double identity to her? Step by step, the steel giant draws nearer, heavy weighted feet thudding on the hard ground. Bracing himself, Kent waits for the towering mechanical monster, keen eyes centered on the robot's massive riveted chest. And then suddenly, a familiar voice sounds close by.
Clark, I had to come.
Lois, go back quickly.
No, I'm going to stick with you. If anything happens, it'll happen to both of us.
Lois, don't be a fool. Go back.
No.
With only a scant 50 feet separating him from the mechanical monster, Kent realizes he can do only one thing: smash the steel giant as Superman, even though Lois will be an eyewitness to it all. But at the very moment he reaches a decision, something is happening in the barn-like laboratory from which the mechanical man first emerged. Wallace Thornton, its creator, struck down by the yellow mask, has regained consciousness. Staggering to the control panel, he throws a switch, turns another dial. A jagged blue spark jumps the gap between two metal rods. And miles away, the mechanical man stops short.
Clark, he stopped, dead in his tracks.
Yes.
Look, his arms are coming up.
No, those aren't his arms. The steel plates on both sides of his body are spreading out like wings.
Look, the top of his head is opening. What's going to happen?
Almost anything can happen. It's uncanny.
What's that?
Hum of an electric motor. Somewhere inside that steel body. Great Scott, Lois. A propeller's coming out of his head. It's spinning.
Clark, he's going to fly.
Get back, Lois. There he goes.
Is he dreaming? This can't be possible.
Get to a phone, Lois, in a hurry. Call the office and give them the story. I'm going to chase that mechanical man in the car. He can't fly fast. I'll come back for you. Get the story in.
No, Clark, wait. I'll go with you. Clark! Clark!
This is far enough away from the orphanage. They can't see me. There. Now, to get that mechanical monstrosity as Superman before it causes any more damage. Up, and away!
Leaping high into the air, Superman wings across the heavens, his amazing vision able to pierce the low-hanging clouds and mark the strange flight of the steel robot. Higher and still higher, until he is above it and can hear its motor purring in the beat of its small propeller. For a brief moment, Superman studies the curious metal monster, now become a trim airship. Studies it as the brilliant rays of the sun shine on its steel plates. And then, streaming ahead of it, he suddenly wheels in flight and with the speed of a bullet plunges toward the whirling propeller. One blow of his granite-like fist and the metal blades of the propeller crumple like tinfoil. The monster falters in midair, hangs motionless for a moment, and then, almost like a thing alive struck down in flight, it plummets to the ground thousands of feet below, with Superman diving after it. Down, 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 to end in a thunderous crash. And hours later, in the penthouse hideout of Max Heller, leader of a foreign espionage ring, the Yellow Mask, notorious international criminal, chuckles as he scans the front page of the Daily Planet Evening Edition.
Listen to this, Heller. That Lane girl I was telling you about wrote the story. It's rich. Although reluctant to release any information, the police inferred that the only existing set of blueprints and plans detailing the construction of Wallace Thornton's mechanical man were believed to be missing from the latter's safe. That's plain cagey. Believed to be missing. They know they're missing because we've got them. Haven't we, Heller?
Does it say anything else?
Just this. The twisted remains of Thornton's working model of the almost human robot, found in a cornfield where it crashed, are now being examined by a board of mechanical experts. However, little hope is held out that the model can be reconstructed. So badly was it damaged. All in all, Heller, I should say I did a pretty thorough job. You have the only existing blueprints, and the one model is a total wreck. What is there to stop you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We will begin at once to build up the fear and panic already started by the mechanical man's unrehearsed exhibition. I have trained men working on the blueprints. Within a week, there will be ready another mechanical man.
You didn't waste much time, did you?
Time, mein Herr, is money, and the lives of my people. It cannot be wasted. Our first objective will be the shipyard. But before even we do that, there are steps to be taken. Important steps in the breakdown of morale. We must make that name, the mechanical man, feared throughout the country. We must drive people behind locked doors, make them cower and cringe with nerves at the breaking point. We must instill fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the horrible, fear of life itself. And this is how we shall do it. Now listen closely. Every move is important. We are playing a game of chess with human lives as pawns. Nothing must go wrong.
Yes, Mr. White.
What about that follow-up story in the mechanical man story? How long do you think we can hold the presses?
Okay, I'll be right in with it. Work, work, work. No rest for the weary. Now, let's see. Where was I? Oh, yes. One line to go. The police are expecting to announce an arrest shortly. There. That does it. Follow-up is no work of art, but it'll have to do.
According to the information from Washington.
Oh, I didn't know you were here, Clark. Well, have you recovered from your experience with that animated sardine can, the mechanical what?
Don't talk about it, Lois. It's a serious matter.
You're telling me. I had that metal man mountain towering over me for a few harrowing seconds. I know how serious it is. Here's the follow-up. Mr. Kent gets quite a plug.
That isn't necessary, Lois.
All right. I'll read it and send it down. You can call it a day.
Thanks, Chief.
Well?
Well, what?
Kent and I have something to discuss, Lois. Would you mind...
Sorry. Night.
Night, Lois.
Tony, what could they be discussing that I can't hear?
As I was saying, Mr. White, the information from Washington is fairly complete.
I hate to eavesdrop, but I think I have a right to know what's going on.
What is it?
Of course, you understand this is all confidential.
Oh, not for that.
Well, Wallace Thornton, the inventor of the mechanical man, has definitely identified the Yellow Mask as the man who stole the only existing set of blueprints.
That's right again.
Yes, and it's also been established that Max Heller, the foreign agent, is in this country. In fact, they believe he maintains headquarters in the penthouse of the Montgomery Apartments right here in Metropolis.
Max Heller, Montgomery Apartments.
What's the connection between Heller and the Yellow Mask?
Well, it was Heller who engineered the masked prison break. Evidently, they've joined hands in espionage. Putting the pieces together, it looks as though they're planning to use replicas of Thornton's mechanical man to spread terror and destruction in this country.
What a story, Kent. We'd scoop everyone with it.
I know, but it can't be used. When I accepted that Secret Service assignment, I agreed to keep confidential information out of print. With your approval, if you recall.
Oh, of course. But it's still a terrific story when we can break it. What's the next move?
I've been assigned to watch Heller. We don't want to arrest the mask until we can involve both of them. As it is, we have no evidence against Heller, save that he's an alien. This time, the Espionage Division wants to get him and get him right.
Well, be careful, Kent. I don't want you to run any risk.
Well, we're all running risks these days, Mr. White. Part of the battle.
Yes, I suppose so. Well, keep me posted on the
It's little time that Lois crime. So, my friend Clark Kent is a special Secret Service operative, tracking down a foreign spy and trying to steal all the glory. Well, we'll fix that in short order. I'll show you how to land a spy, Clark, old boy. Now that Harry did it, why can't Lois Lane? Max Heller, penthouse, Montgomery Apartments. On your way, lady. Drop me off at the Montgomery Apartments, Tony, and then swing around the corner and wait there for me. I'll be about an hour. And don't keep your meter running.
Okay, Miss Lane.
And remember this, Tony. I'm going up to the penthouse apartment.
Oh, a little cocktail party, maybe, huh, Miss Lane?
It'll be a party, but I don't think they'll serve cocktails. You won't forget, will you? The penthouse.
Don't worry. I got a memory like a giraffe.
You mean an elephant? Well, let it go. That's the Montgomery on the right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, see you in an hour, Tony.
All right.
What floor, please?
Penthouse. Please.
Is Lois Lane, in her eagerness to turn the tables on Clark Kent, stepping into a lion's den? The Yellow Mask hasn't forgotten the part she played in putting him behind bars. Not only that, but Lois's interference may disrupt the carefully laid plans of the Secret Service. Something is bound to happen, so don't miss it. Be with us for the next exciting episode. Tune in and listen. We're the Superman.